if you guys can see me. I'm hoping. Okay, can anybody hear me at this point? Oh, Justine, I thought everything was going, and then the internet like blinked and down it went. I can't win for losing when it comes to these lives, but it's fine. It's not going to get me down. We've got a cool card to make. So hopefully people will find us with my new thumbnail. So yeah, I've been streaming the news all day because, well, we're not going to talk why, but everybody knows that I love the news. And literally everything went like blinked out like as I hit start streaming for you guys. So anyhow, let's make a card. We're going to say, wait, it stands up. So we're playing along with Craft Roulette, and the parameters are a bridge card, which is going to stand up, a J, so we're going to say jumping, and you'll see that in a second. Colors are, what are the colors? Colors are salad, which we're going to go with a fruit salad, and the other one is swiping, so we're going to use a product you guys haven't seen for a minute. So, use 5 frogs, you do 5 frogs because they jump. That's the J for jumping. So I colored everything off the screen. We are not coloring tonight, but we are going to be using this really cool circle peekaboo die. We're going to be using the birthday bash paper pack, which looks like this. And we had a bunch of people on here that were waiting, and now I think they fell off. So I'm sorry, guys, if you find us on the replay. Welcome. But we are going to use this Totally Awesome stamp set. And I'll read this stuff to you. So you've got 4 jumping frogs, and it says, wishing you a totally awesome happy birthday, frogtastic, unforgettable, jump for joy. So you shared the video. Thank you. Hi, Sandy. Good to see you. So we are using these. I colored these cuties. I'm going to put this behind me. I colored these off screen. So, I had to have one lime green frog because it's my favorite color. It's also Sandy's favorite color. But yeah, I went with pink, and my whole idea was to do CMYK, so no K, no black. But it was to kind of be like the printer colors, because then we bring in the colors from the paper. But this paper does have green, so we're still saved. All right, so we'll do a little bit of stamping and some card putting together stuff. So yay. Let's talk about a bridge card first. So for me, it's 5.5 by 8. And you score it at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 3/4. So if you're new to card making and you don't know what that means, so we're scoring on the long side, which is the 8-inch side. And we're going to use our bone folder. And right at 1 1/4, you're going to go down that line. Then again at 2 1/2, and again at 5 1/2. So what you do is this is going to go down this channel, and you kind of put an indent in there, and that's how you're able to fold. So this is what the card looks like, and I'm going to have a PDF up on the blog later tonight. So when it opens, it kind of looks like a U. Okay. Hey Judy, I'm glad you found us. Story of my life, the internet, the dogs, the cats, whoever, they're all act like nuts. So I did score this, and I did 120 pound cardstock because I like a hefty card. One thing to know when you use really heavy cardstock, when you are doing fun folds, I'm going to see if I can get some contrast here so you can actually see it. It's really important to score on both sides, because then your paper cracks. I don't know, can you guys see that? I think you can see a little bit of the so you really want to score on both sides, which is this was my sacrificial lamb right here in case that was going to happen. So that is the hardest part of a bridge card, is knowing which way to fold your cards. So again, you're scoring and you're bringing the first fold, so your paper would look like this. You're going to bring your folds in this way, so they'll overlap, so towards the middle, and then do these on the outside, so they will look like a U. Okay. Then I said I could color the frogs, but we're going to play with a new product. Well, it's not new, it's been around for a while, but I don't think it's been shown on the channel for quite some time. Here's my dirty, my dirty trimmer. And I'm using the 120-pound cardstock. Now, you absolutely don't have to. It's just what I had on my desk, and it's a miracle a lot of times if I even get here. So, on time and in one piece, as you guys have seen. So, I am going to zoom out a little bit so you can see some stuff. Probably need to do. Hi, Lisa. Glad you joined us. All right. So we are going to make a background, since we have to do a swiping to meet the criteria. We're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm using Distress Inks, picked raspberry, peacock feathers, and squeezed lemonade. And I am putting this off to the side. Now, if you are somebody who likes to go to Crops, we do sell a traveler's mat so that you can do this on the go and not have like a big heavy glass mat stick with you. And it comes as a combo. So if you get the Awesome Sauce and the mat, it's $5. Otherwise, the Awesome Sauce is $3.99. So this is what the Awesome Sauce looks like. And this is for all dye inks and distress oxides, watercolors. It is not for alcohol inks. So I put down, I don't know, a little bit, maybe a nickel size. And that's just because all of my sponges are brand new. Normally I have like a pink, a yellow, and a bluish green, whatever, already done, but they got thrown away at the end of the season. So Kelly has used Awesome Sauce. She's been to the shows a few times, so she's done this, but I don't know too many of you have done this. So you can use re-inkers even. It's kind of cool. So I always kind of dip into here, into the Awesome Sauce, pick up a color, doing my best not to put my sleeve into it. And we're just going to swipe across the panel. And you get a really nice blend without even working for it. You don't get the splotches that you get for like when you put down like dry ink. So what do I mean by that? I'm glad you asked. Did you ask? I don't know that you did, but I'm going to show you. So this dauber does not have any of the Awesome Sauce on it yet. So if I pick up this blue and I go down in the center of the paper, you get those really harsh lines. And you have to work really hard to blend, right? Well, with Awesome Sauce, it literally like just goes down smooth as butter. And the reason we created this was I would go to retreats and I would teach, and I would see people having such a hard time with ink blending, and I would have people that would just walk right out. And that's no fun. Crafting is supposed to be fun. Hi Tara, how are you? I owe you a couple messages tonight. So again, I'm making this look like a swipe. You could get an absolutely gorgeous blend and stuff, but we are kind of, making this look kind of like a painterly look to it. And you can overlap with this too. My yellow needs to be re-inked so bad. So you never want to put the Awesome Sauce into or into the actual pad, you always want to stamp it off to the side, which is why we have a traveler's mat if you for some reason would want it, or use any kind of mat that you'd want to use. So we're gonna let that kind of settle and do its thing for right now, and then I am going to pick up the blue. I'm still going into the Awesome Sauce and kind of doing its thing. Do you see how that's not blotchy in comparison? So that's literally going to be my background. And you can like keep building the color. So you can do that. And if you are like a distressed person and you like more vibrant, because this makes it dry back more like a watercolor, you can just keep adding ink, and it just builds the ink as if you were blending. And you can also splatter water and you'll still get the watermarks. So it's a really fun product. It makes it really easy to blend out a background. So that's what we're doing for the background. Actually, we're not going to do a whole lot more, okay, because it's going to be a very small piece, and I want it to look like we did swipes, so we meet the criteria of Craft Roulette. So if anybody ever wonders why I always am doing my videos on Tuesday for Craft Roulette, one, it's because I love Craft Roulette. We sponsor it a few times a year. But I just think they're really fun people, and they make you go outside of the parameters. Like, I never would have thought like J for jumping. I never would think salad paper, and I would never in a million years make a bridge card, because I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to that. But it gets me, like, when you're in a crafty rut, it makes you think of other things to do. So I always encourage people to learn new things and do things that they normally, like, what would take, would be hard, or just do whatever, something different. Now, people have always asked me, like, is this non-toxic? Yes, it's it's a pharmaceutical grade and food grade, so you can do that. You literally could take some and put it on your tongue and you wouldn't die. I don't recommend that, but it is safe. I get that question at every show. So for the bridge, because we're gonna let that kind of dry and settle back to see if we need to do anything else with it. Look at me, I'm like searching. So I normally would do a bridge like 1 1/4 by 5.5, but I think I did 1.5 because we're putting a pretty significant die on here. So this circle die, which, you guys, this circle die is going to take up most of this card. So you're really not going to see it, but I want to be able to attach it without any real problems. So we're going to start cutting down our paper. Where's my trimmer? Okay. So this is 6-inch paper. So that was 1.5 inches. So we're going to go 1 1/4. And again, you could do this the bridge any thickness that you want. I just kind of made up my own as I went. Yours was much bigger than you wanted it to be. Yeah, I can see that. So this is going to be 5 1/4 because we're going to have a little bit of a border. So we'll get this. And then the ones that are on the flaps out here are going to be 1 inch by 5 1/4. So let's get those chopped down. So I'm just lining that up with the 1 inch tick mark on my trimmer. Depending on what trimmer you're using, yours might look different. But I take it that we all can, pretty much can measure. It's questionable at times if I can, but, some people are eyeballers. I just want to chop it with my trimmer. So I have a question, since I've got some people on here. What are your crafty confessions? what's in your craft room that you wouldn't like tell, or that, you know. So for me, mine are thin mints. And that's because if I don't hide them, the other human in my house would eat them in the middle of the night, and then I would never get to eat them. So I always hide a box. So there are always crafty snacks up here. And there's always a cup full of like iced tea or something, which I think is behind me. So that's my crafty confession. Not that that wasn't very scandalous. You know, let's be real. Not scandalous at all. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this pattern paper down. And again, this is the birthday bash paper. It comes with happy birthday paper. It's always got solids on the back. It's got candles. Did I do? Yeah. What else? Candles, banners, polka dots, stripes. So I really try to give you guys solids that match. But one thing that's really nice about our papers is that most of our paper packs kind of feed with each other, so you can mix and match them without much trouble. All right, now we're bringing in the bridge. And we're going to glue these down. So my finger now, I think, is getting ready to fall off. Remember how we had talked about that? How the dogs and the cat got into it, and the cat, I was trying to save the cat like from being stressed out, and she bit down on my finger. Well, I think I'm going to finally lose that nail. So I feel really weird. I go in to get my nails done, but then I have to leave this one off. And he said I'll probably have to leave it off for several months, because you don't want to get cat scratch fever. So, yay. Okay, so this inside is 3 inches, okay? And the reason I know that is there's 2.5 inches on each side here. So it's roughly 3 inches, and that I'm using my grids to measure it, because I'm not going to be all measure. However, we do need to cut this down. So I like the way that this looks here, like that it's more of a pastel. So this is a 4 1/4 sheet of paper. So I'm going to take this down to, we're going to start with 3.5. And then I'm going to take off, no, we're going to go to 3. Because I think I like that white space. So the one thing that you want to do is, before you get all choppy, you want to make sure it's going to fit in there, but you have to take like a hair off, because it won't bend. So that's why I was like, you know, I said it's roughly 3 inches, but you still have to allow for those score marks. And so let's say I took a sliver off. And this one I am going to do the same height as the card, okay? You're not really going to see this background, but I wanted you to know how to do one if you wanted one, or how to cut your paper. Basically, you can make your bridge card any dimensions that you want. You just have to have it turn into a U at some point. But I think on Craft Roulette, Mary did like the impossible card or exploding card, but this is what we're going to look like. So we now have we've got swipes, or, you know, wipes, I guess. So we have that, wipes across the card. We've got fruit salad colors, and we're going to have the frog. So we're going to hold off. I know that we're kind of going back and forth, and I don't mean for that to happen, but I'm letting things dry. I also have elements that need to be stamped and centered, so that's why I'm jumping around a little bit. In a perfect world, we wouldn't do it in this order. We would, you know, just do whatever we want. So I've got a frogtastic day, and somewhere on this desk, prior to everything going awry, I had a happy birthday stamped, and we'll find it. If not, we'll stamp it again. It's not a big deal. Or it should say, or no, it was wishing you. So it's in this mess, I promise you guys, or it's on the floor. You see me when the things don't work the way I want them to, I get very frazzled, and I'm very sorry. So I'm using VersaFine Clair because it's my favorite for sentiments, because it's a nice deep black. And we're going to use our frog press because why wouldn't we? Because we're making a jumping card with frogs on it. So now we have a frogtastic birthday. And I really want to know where that sentiment strip went. I've actually now stamped it twice. I see it. It's up there. We're good. We're good. So we're going to let that kind of simmer for a second. Actually, let's just emboss it because one is a pigment ink, so it stays wet. Even though it's a faster drying one, I don't want black to smear. And since this is going to stay white, I didn't pre-treat it because I'm using clear embossing powder. So I always recommend to people like stamp in black and then use clear embossing powder instead of just stamping in clear and then using black embossing powder. I'm letting this heat up. So on one of the pages that I follow on Facebook, somebody asked why their embossing powder didn't stick, even though they used Versamark ink. And one, I said, you need to re-ink your inker. But did you know that embossing powder does get old, and sometimes it doesn't melt. So it does have a life, like a longevity to it. So if it like falls away and it never melts, then it's time to get new. So I just thought I would tell you because I saw that question come up. Like yesterday actually. So here's the wishing you. And so I'm taking this so it's equal to the top of the wishing you, and I'm going straight down, and by lining that up, so what I do is normally, so I'll repeat this. Ugh. Now I know why Justin uses tweezers all the time. So I'm going to repeat what I just said. So I take this bar, the clear bar, and I put it right up along the last letter, or in the previously I did it so it's at the top of the letters, and I lob that off so you get a nice squared off thing. And then if you want it to be flagged, you can just hold it at an angle and cut that off, and there you go. So that's a quick little trick to make your own. If you don't have a sentiment strip die or something like that, that's how you make your own. Let's get this put together now. There's Gracie saying hi. It's never a day without the cockatoo screaming. It's my life. So what I want, this is 5.5 inches all the way across. The white one is. So I'm going to glue this where I want this bar to be. So basically I'm laying this down because I want to see where the center is-ish. Okay. I just want to make sure that was going to work okay, which I knew it was going to because I had tried it prior to coming on camera. So the one job I gave my husband was to make sure that Gracie wasn't going to scream. And yep, he failed. So I'm going to hold this here for a second. I'm going to let this Barely Art glue kind of adhere. You can also use your presses just to smooth the glue out, you know, if you're using like thinner cardstock in case it would warp. So now I want to glue this edge straight. I just unglued it. So Gracie actually used to craft with us at one point. I used to bring her up, but she likes to like mess with my hair and my glasses, and she overall wants to like steal the show. And I'm already distracted enough. I don't need her help. So this is what a bridge card looks like. This is so easy, you guys. Did you ever think when the wheel gave us a bridge card, I literally said, oh God, if I was doing this on the show, I would have just died right then and there on the spot. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that in the center. It's really nice that this die has a center. So you know exactly where to adhere it. So I'm holding it up so that I can eyeball it like this, so it's somewhat straight, because you know you have a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. Now you absolutely can like sneak a little bead of glue on the side and hold that down just to give it as much strength as you possibly can. Now this will move, so you can mail it. All right, let's get gluing. Try to figure out where we want these guys. They are so stinking cute, you guys. I love these little frogs. So, you don't have the circle die, Kelly? I would think by now you'd almost have everything in our store. So, all right, let's get some. You know, it's not a joy card without some foam tape. If you know, you know. So let's get some of this cut. Man, that bird is just screaming. I always tell Sean, I was like, you're not allowed to yell at the dogs or yell at the birds, because it's literally downstairs, because his voice is so deep that you guys can hear him better than you can hear me. Like my microphone will pick up his voice downstairs better than it does me here because of how weak my voice is. Believe it or not, I actually have my volume all the way up when I'm crafting, so you guys can, I want to say, hopefully hear me. So I know it can be frustrating for you guys, and I'm sorry. So now we've got those little frogs. Thank you, Tara. I love to color, but I know that there are folks that come to the channel that don't want to watch coloring all the time, even though that's what I'd want to see. Like 9 times out of 10, if I actually watch YouTube, which guys, when I watch YouTube, I'm not watching crafting stuff most of the time. I know that might sound weird, but I really don't. So I am going to sneak my embossing powder thing back there so that it doesn't stick, because it's kind of hanging off a little bit. So we're gonna leave him hanging there. But if I do watch a video, it's because I'm watching somebody color. In fact, It's really the only thing I do watch. I watch a lot of business related stuff, but I don't watch a lot of I don't watch a lot of crafting anymore, and it's mainly because I don't want to know what other companies are putting out, because I never want there to be any kind of confusion, like who put what out when. So I just kind of keep my head down and keep my head down low and do my own thing, and that's what I want to do. So I watch a lot of business stuff, like that kind of stuff. I'm always researching. That bird. Gracie! She has been screaming all day for reasons that I'm not even 100% sure why. Yeah, I do. It's because we have 2 really bad huskies today. The Husky Chronicles have not been so pleasant today. If any of you guys follow me on Facebook, I talk about the Husky Chronicles quite a bit. And I only talk about them when they're good usually. But today was not a good day. So I'm using my embossing tool just to put some powder in there to get that glue not to stick, because that die has open areas. And when I shut it, I don't want it to stick to itself. So that's what I'm doing. Isn't this cute? Yes, Sandy, you do send me sourdough. Do you guys notice I got my sourdough era shirt on today? It was so funny. I went to the gas station, and the guy says, so what kind of sourdough do you make? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, I get in so much trouble with the shirts I wear, you guys, because I don't pay attention to what's on them, and some of them are very sarcastic at times, and everybody always says that they're always like, oh, is that how you feel today? So when he asks me about sourdough, I'm like, yes, I'm safe, because then I didn't, not in trouble with anybody. But yeah, he asked me about the sourdough, and he was a little crunchy, kind of like me. He had his long hair, and he was cute as pie. I'm just telling you. And he was telling me what kind of bread he makes, and I almost said, hey, do you want to trade numbers so we can exchange recipes? And I thought, I am so very married, and he is so young, and it was the most inappropriate thing to say, but all I wanted to do was talk sourdough with somebody. But that's fine. I've got a couple friends that are sourdough peeps, and yeah, so I will talk to my friends. A lot of you on my team now have the sons and daughters of my sourdough. So if you ever want a sourdough starter, you just yell at me, because I've got so much of it. I will send it to you. So there's that. It's all over the United States at this point. And it's funny because like Amazon cloths will come and I'll have a delivery and I'm like, what is this? That's not abnormal for me that I don't know what's coming, because I'm a shopper, but I'll get like these random things in the mail where people will have sent me sourdough stuff, and it's because I don't let anybody pay me for the sourdough, and so they always want to get me a gift. And 99% of the time, Amazon does not tell me who it's from, even though they say they filled out a gift receipt. So anywho, I always, if you see like random posts on my social media about thank you for the sourdough stuff, it's because I legit get Amazon packages and I don't know who they're from. And it's very kind when people do it. I eventually do find out who they are, because they'll finally be like, did you get that? I'm like, did you not see my post? So yep, I will send it. I don't know why I'm talking so much about sourdough other than I've got my shirt on. And I'm trying to ignore the fact that my bird is making me want to scream. Although me screaming isn't much louder than what I talk, I don't have the ability to talk any louder or clearer. And if you've been in my life for any amount of time, you know this has been going on for like, I don't know, 15 years. And my voice actually doesn't last very long either. So now you know a little bit about me that maybe I haven't shared with you before. That bird is very upset. So what we did was we bought crates for the Huskies so that my Husky Chronicles could be good. They pushed me past my limit today. So they now have cages, and they're on the first floor, and this is new to the bird, and the bird's very upset because I'm not downstairs. And my husband just left to go to his Pew Pew Club. So she is down there with caged Huskies who don't want to be in a cage. And the whole key was he was supposed to keep it quiet for me. So, whatever. It's fine. Why would it be one of my videos without, like, the internet not working or the bird screaming the whole time? The rule's going to be now, whenever he goes out to his club, that he'll have to not come home from work. You need to order a PCS shirt, Sandy. You just need to tell me what size you need. No, literally, Tara, that's what she's saying. She's going, Ma, Ma. You know, like, is it Stewie on, what is that show? Lord have mercy. I don't know. It's a cartoon. I can't remember. So this is the card. What do you guys think? What did you guys think about that blending solution? So Sandy, I'm going back through. Oh my God, I'm going back through these comments because I missed some of them. So Justine was making dinner and typing. You saw that question. So Tara saying that she saw the question about embossing powder. Kelly is saying that every time I say Gluey, that her husband Louie thinks I'm talking to him. Well, you know, Louie, you have a special part. You have a special place in my heart. You're kind of you're my favorite Louie. You're, Louie and Kelly are like the cutest couple you'd ever want to meet. Just love them. And then I'm looking at Judy Van Zant. She said this card is so cute and quick. It is cute and quick. I mean, the hardest part was coloring them, which I did off. It's always the harder part was coloring them, and for me, it only took like 15-20 minutes to color. So I don't know. Probably getting my internet to work was the hardest part about this card, but it will lay flat. So this would measure. I don't know, what is this? 2, 3. So 4.5. So you would do like a 5x7 card, or you would do a 6x6 envelope. If you mail a square card, you do pay extra postage. I always just take it to the post office. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing it like a card that is a pop-up, I usually hand it to someone, anyone. But I never skimp on postage. I always feel like if I'm sending you a card, then that means you're close to my heart, and I'm going to pay the extra postage. One thing I want to do as I play with this is I want to glue this guy's little foot down. Guys, that bird is going to pay the price when I get downstairs. But yeah, can you believe it? It's only 7:44 and my tech was a mess, so we haven't even been on this whole time. But yes, this card I think is adorable. I am so glad that Craft Roulette pushed me out of my comfort zone, because I never would have made this card. In fact, I had to look it up to see what it was. And I'm so glad I wasn't live. And Tara was on there like 2 weeks ago, and she did an amazing No, it was not Tara. I lied. Well, yeah, Tara was on there. Shoot. I did a great job. So, yeah, I've had quite a few friends lately that have been on Craft Roulette. So, this is it for me, unless you have some, like, really dire questions you want to ask. Tara saying it's fun and cheery. Sandy saying, need those frogs, add to cart, new release goodies next week. Yep. So, speaking of which, to all of you that ordered our new release for March, thank you. You guys have been more than generous with the release, so thank you. It was a different kind of stamp for us. It was Von Marie, you're correct, Kelly. So it's a different kind of stamp for us, and we like it. We like these large stamps, so be looking for more of that kind of stuff. But we do have a new release coming up on, what is the date of that? It's like the 17th-ish. Let's see. Yep, Friday the 17th. So in 10 days, we've got a new release coming, and it's fabulous. The team is doing amazing. So we used, to rehash, the Circle Peekaboo die. We used the Toadally Awesome frogs, and we used the Birthday Bash cardstock, and we used the Awesome Sauce, which again is good with dye inks, watercolors, all those. So, but not alcohol inks. Do not think that they are to be used with alcohol inks. You'll just not be happy. But you can use your reinkers. You can do all the things. You can even use like your distress crayons with it. You can use gelatos with it. You just always want to put it down on a mat. You never want to put this. I'm going to repeat this. Never put it into your ink pad. And it can be any ink. It can be your Catherine Pooler. It can be your Distress. It can be your Lisa Hortons. It can be a Memento. Any dye ink you can use with it. So, all right. I am going to jump off here. And I'm going to go pay attention to a bird that probably really needs some attention based on her behavior. So, thanks for hanging out with me, and thanks for jumping over from one live to the other. Bye, guys.